I feel like we're hanging out with two horny teenagers.
Yeah. Are you having fun, though?
I am.
I want to start by asking, guys, this show originally premiered in fall 2023 on Channel 4. Here we are a year and a half later, bringing it to American audiences and international audiences who have stars. What does it feel like now to get to share this with such a bigger platform? Eleanor, we can start with you.
Oh, it's just so exciting. I feel like we've been waiting for ages for the American audience to see this. I think it's really going to appeal. I hope it does anyway. It's it's a really fun show. So it's just so nice that finally it's coming out.
Yeah, likewise. Very excited that, friends in the States get to and it having an extended life. I suppose that's the nature of filming anything, right? You shoot it and then post-production happens and then it gets aired, but it's nice that it's kind of come back to life for a whole new audience. That's a bit of a gift.
Yeah, that's the magic of the streaming age we live in. I want to talk about your characters a little bit specifically. Alfred, your character of Pete frustrated me a little bit because of his lack of presence in his relationship with Evie. Do you think that's intentional? Do you think he's aware of that lack of presence? Or is it just kind of like he's just kind of growing, I don't know, distant in the relationship and he's not even aware of it?
I think it's not just the lack of presence in his relationship, it's in his life. I think he's quite a passive person, and I found that quite interesting. I think he's in a situation where I think he basically thought he was set and thought things would continue the way it was. I thought he was lucky to have found this beautiful, wonderful woman, and he's set, and then things were going to progress, and then nothing quite flourished the way he expected it to, and it all required a bit more tending than he was able to do. And then all of a sudden he blinks and he's like, well, hang on, I didn't want to be here. And that's, I didn't want it to be like this. But he hasn't taken continued responsibility over the course of his life for his relationship, for his work, and so finds himself in a position where he's floating, and all of a sudden he realizes he'd rather be over there, but it's a bit too late for him.
Yeah, it's a great case study on what it means to be present in relationships and why you need to always give 110% every single day. Eleanor, to talk about Evie a little bit here, what makes her so susceptible to Danny's advances?
I think with everything that Evie's been through, I think she's feeling particularly lost at that stage. And I think that, she loves having this attention thrown on her. She's been with Pete since they were at university, I think. And I think that relationship is loving and caring, but I think it's lost its spark for her, particularly after this kind of awful event that they've both been through. So I think that she's just feeling rebellious, and she's out to kind of hate herself and hate her life. And there is this man who is the opposite of Pete, and she finds him kind of exciting because of that.
Yeah, very much so. Alfred, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Harry Potter. It's so cool to get to talk to you today because I grew up watching you in those movies at the theater when I was 7 years old. The reboot is active right now, and I know it's a completely new cast, but if there was an option for you to come back as a professor, as a new character, serve as a mentor this time as opposed to being a student, is that something you'd be interested in?
Oh, Liam, I wish I'd said I'd learnt enough to be a mentor to anyone, but I think probably they'd have to find someone else for that.
I don't know. I think you'd be a pretty solid professor at Hogwarts. I think you could teach Defense Against the Dark Arts. I think that'd be up your alley.
I'd love that. That's good. That's only a one-season job, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Here's hoping. There's a lot of cool things going on with that reboot, but obviously the originals are still very near and dear to my heart. Guys, in the future, I know we're getting a second season of The Couple Next Door, and it's being treated kind of like an anthology series in the sense of we're getting a whole new cast of characters, a whole new batch of stories. That being said, if there was an option for you guys to continue the stories of Evie and Pete, I know neither of you are in tip-top shape health-wise when it comes to the end of this season, but do you think that there's more to explore with each of your characters in this show?
I think personally, for me, I think we kind of had the best of Pete and Evie. I think that their characters going forward, what would that look like? It would depend on what the scripts were like for me. So yeah.
I think it's a difficult position they find themselves at the end to come back from. You know, I think it's kind of, I remember reading the scripts early on and thinking there's sort of something almost like a bit of a Jacobean tragedy in this. And, you know, there's a reason why at the end of those kind of tragic, great tragedies, they all end up dead, because it's quite hard to sort of pick up and do like Hamlet 2 or whatever, you know. It's sort of like, where do they go? It's such a cataclysmic breakdown. So, but I think that's good. It's nice to leave them in the hole of their own making.
Yeah, there is a sense of finality. There is a sense of wanting more. There also, you know, is a chance for redemption with any of characters like this. So who knows what the future holds, but in the immediate future, we got The Couple Next Door heading to Stars on January 17th. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time today. This was awesome.
Thanks so much.
And it's all this one's fault. Yes, there was I, a fresher at uni, desperate to escape the church, and into these sinful arms I fell.
Sorry, not sorry.